What's up, brethren? Welcome to the Dear Brother Podcast. In this life, for men, there's two things we got to choose. We got to choose peace, and we got to choose to take a break. And the reason why that's a choice is because ain't nobody going to give it to you. Let me say that again. Bro, it's two things you got to choose. You got to choose peace, and you got to choose to take a break, because ain't nobody going to give it to you. You know, some of the relationship talk in the internet streets is, you know, find a woman who's going to be your peace. That's not even real. That's something made up. Can a woman provide a peaceful environment? Yeah. Can a woman provide a destructive environment? Yeah. So do I want to choose the woman that can provide a peaceful environment? Yeah. But her being your peace will never happen. Why? Because she's a human and she's not always peaceful. Right? And a break, nobody's going to give you a break. Everybody's going to always need something from you. No one's wrong for needing something from us as men, because that's part of being a man. The issue is nobody's going to stop asking you for stuff. Nobody's going to stop needing you for stuff. So in those situations, you got to go ahead and decide, I'm going to give myself a break. I'm going to take a break. Again, because nobody's going to give it to me. Right? So when it comes down to choosing peace, you know, even in a contentious situation, whether that's on your job, in a relationship, you know, I've been talking to a lot of brothers who are having contentious relationship with their older kids. You know, those kids who are grown but still kids, and it's causing contention. You got to choose peace. What's choosing peace? I'm going to choose not to debate with you. I'm going to choose not to argue with you. I'm going to choose not to go back and forth in a relationship. Same thing. I'm going to choose peace here. Right? Because if a man is going to lead, we're supposed to be the leaders. So that means we can lead with peace. And what that means is I'm going to choose not to run my blood pressure up today. I'm going to choose not to try to make a point that sometimes you've been trying to make forever in your relationship or in your family or on your job. You know, you're always going to have someone who's just going to always never value what you have to say. And in this society we live in now, that's one of the biggest things going on in family, in culture, is that the voice of the man means less and less and less. And I believe that it's been designed that way, to make us voiceless. And the issue with being voiceless for a man, if a man is voiceless, then then who gets direction? Who has direction? See, I don't care how many women get on the internet and say how they don't need a man. They're not made to not need a man. Just as much as a man is not made to not need a woman. It's aspects in a woman that you're going to need. It's aspects in a man that a woman's going to need. Why? Because she don't have them. And the same thing in reverse. There's things in you that you're going to need that you don't have that's inside of a woman, man. That's just the design. If we didn't need each other, then there's no production. And we produce more than just kids together, right? That's why you got to choose the right one, right? Someone who wants to produce an environment of relationship, of care. But you got to choose correctly, man. You got to choose correctly. And I'm gonna say this too. If you always got to choose peace, that means somebody's always bringing you chaos. And then the question you really got to ask is, why is this person in my life? If I got to choose peace, I got to choose to be silent. And some of you, I'm going to talk to some brothers, man, because a lot of you feel that way. Some of you feel like, man, hey, Christian, I haven't chosen peace. I've been made to be quiet. Oh, man, I know what that's like. You know, nobody can put their hand over your mouth physically, but I know, you know, as men, we get tired of leading and not being listened to, right? So as we lead and we're less and less listened to in these relationships, what you do is you zip your own lips because you feel like you have no value. But one thing I learned about that, brother, is you have to know your value, know the value of your wisdom, and know that you want best for your family. And whether they want to listen or not, you still put it out there. Because to choose quiet, choosing peace doesn't mean choosing quiet. You know why? Because when you choose to be quiet, what you have to say is still in you. And if you really feel like it's necessary to say and you can't say it, then those words, even if they're wise words, held in, they become poison to you, because now you start to feel like you're devalued. So don't think choosing peace is choosing to be quiet, because many men have gone quiet. And I'm going to tell you, bro, it seems much easier to go quiet. The question is, how much am I losing of myself just choosing to be quiet all the time about my feelings, about my emotions? So choosing peace may be, hey, let me go get this counselor, so I have a place to say this where I won't be attacked for saying it, or I have a place to say it without someone feeling like a victim if I say something. That's choosing peace. I'm gonna choose another place to say this, and not a side shorty. That ain't gonna get you nowhere, bro. That ain't gonna get you nowhere, but in the worst situation. You'll never find peace in a side woman. And I'm talking to grown men. Some of y'all young cats gonna get on here and you gonna praise and honor the power of a side chick. The side chick has no power, bro. She has nothing to really give you but a good time that won't last till she get tired of being your side piece and she gonna be somebody else's side piece. You ain't getting nothing out of that. It's better to be alone than play that game. I promise you that. So what's choosing peace? Choosing peace is not choosing another woman. Choosing peace is not of being quiet. Choosing peace is not just quitting every job. You know what I mean? Choosing peace is deciding what kind of man I'm going to be in every situation. What kind of man am I going to be right now, right here in this situation? What kind of man do I need to be right now? See, and brothers, I encourage you, man, because this is the way you got to start thinking. You got to slow your pace down in order to even think. Stop. The worst thing you can do as a man is move out of emotion. Not because it's girly, because you're too powerful to move without thinking. When a man moves, when a man speaks, his words mean so much. You have no idea what your words mean, right? I watch it with my daughters, with my son. You could just be talking, and they're analyzing your words, because that's the power of the voice of a man. That they're going to think about what you have to say. And when people stop thinking about what you have to say as a man, that means you stop thinking about what you were going to say too. And you just begin to say anything. And if you're in a situation where nobody seems to listen at all ever, that's because people don't value your words, and perhaps you messed up that authority. But I want you to know you have authority in your words. When you speak, people ponder. When you speak, it causes people to act. Right? It causes people to act, react. You got to know the power of your words as a man. That's something that God gave you as a man. Every man was born with authority, not just words. That's why you got to know your authority before you use your words. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Think about your authority before you use the words, because those words as a man, they go out strong, man, and they take impact. So sometimes choosing peace, man, is also choosing when to say something. Sometimes it's about timing. Sometimes it's knowing when to say it, right? As a man, is knowing when it will be received properly in order to have any kind of impact. Whether that's a tough space on your job, or a tough person, your boss, again, your wife, your kids, just somebody that you need to confront about something. You have to be more self-aware that sometimes, hey man, this ain't the right time to say it, because maybe you're not in a place where you can say it properly, right? Because one of the biggest things that grab us all by the throat is anger. As men, sometimes that's our drug. Sometimes our drug is anger. We jump straight to it. And it never makes us feel better, right? I used to tell people this all the time. You give everybody a piece of your mind, eventually you're not going to have a mind. Hold something back. So it's two things you got to choose: peace and a break. Let me deal with that. We talked about choosing peace. Now let's talk about taking a break. I said it before early in this video. Nobody's ever going to give you a break. Someone will always have need of you. This is where it gets dangerous. It gets dangerous when you start becoming, or you start identifying yourself. Philadelphia in the bumps, bro. Oh God, my city, man. They put speed bumps to slow you down, but cause holes to tear your car up. But anyway, that's another podcast. But choose. You have to learn to choose a break. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break from the needs of everybody, because this is when mental illness starts to come in. And I know y'all like, how we get the mental illness? This is how it begins. It begins when you have you've become so many things for so many people that now you become a different character to please everybody, to the point where you don't even know who you are anymore. It's hard to gather and locate yourself. That's the detriment of becoming everything everybody needs. It's no sin to say no. It's no sin to say no. Actually, sometimes you find out who really loves you and appreciates you when you say no. You say no to the wrong person, they'll act like you never did nothing for them, just because of no. You know how you take your life back? One no at a time. That's how you recover your life. One no at a time. It's not a sin to say no. It's self-preservation, man. So you got to choose your breaks, man. Plan them. As much as you will write down in your calendar what you got to do for somebody, write down in your calendar when it's going to be a season of when you don't do anything for anybody. Schedule it. You got to schedule a break. You got to write it down and decide, look, these are the days that you can't get nothing from me unless it's an emergency. Nobody can get nothing from me. Why? Because listen, bro, you know like I know, if you don't put a deposit in your bank, you can't make a withdrawal. You don't put any gas in your car, you can't drive nowhere. We understand that with our money. We understand that with our car. We don't understand that with our humanity. We don't understand it with our humanity. People driving crazy. Y'all had to pause to see what was going on. We don't understand it as men with our humanity. If you start budgeting your energy like you budget your money, imagine you'll be at a better place right now, right? And that doesn't say that you have to be a master with the money. What it does say is, you know, when you got $50 and you need this and you need that, you don't just go out there willy-nilly with it. We need to budget our energy the same way we budget our money. Why? Because I'm choosing my time. I'm choosing my peace. And when you choose your time, and you choose yourself, and you choose your peace, you're choosing a good life. You're choosing a good life. Nobody's ever going to co-sign you taking a break. Nobody's ever going to co-sign you wanting peace. That's why they're both up to you. Man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. Become part of the Christian Winners Podcast. I share wisdom with men every day. Hey, love you, bro. Yesterday was history, and tomorrow's a mystery. All you got is right now. Live like it. Stand tall, bro. I'm on your side. Peace.